What is going on with y'all boys? Today we're going to start off with our NFL top 10 going into a big week this week. I had some good games last week, but it's the NFL. We always got good games, so let's go ahead and get us started. Where are we working with, Kyle?
A few teams out, a few teams in, of course there's movement. So at my number 10, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. This team we thought we're going to be taken early, but, they're 2-2 with two, reasonably close losses. Cup returns this week. I think he's going to play as well. Stafford's balling. He's not turning the ball over. Puka Nacua, the fifth round pick, he's becoming a star. I mean, he's putting up numbers. He's second right now in the league with receiving yards. And then Kyron Williams, they're out with Cam Akers, and then Kyron Williams coming in having a big week as well. So, I mean, this team is rolling, honestly. So the Rams are at my number 10. At the number 9 spot, I've got the Detroit Lions. They're learning how to win. They're 14-3 since week 9 of last year. So they're buying into Dan Campbell. They're really believing in the concept and the schemes, and their defense is much improved. And they've got a capable quarterback with Jared Goff. They've got real weapons with St. Brown, Laporta, the rookie, the tight end. He's going to be a stud. He's looking very good. And then David Montgomery is coming along as well with that running attack. And they've got Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie, too. So I really like Lions at number 9.
One thing I'll say, not that I have anything against those teams, I would have the Bucks up to this point. I was seeing if you had them at 9, but I don't think you have them any higher.
No.
But I would have them at 9 or 10. Sneakily 3-1, handling teams like they should. Baker Mayfield is looking significantly better than he should, so I just had to throw that in there.
So who would you take out? The Rams?
I would probably take out the Rams because I like the Lions more than the Rams. I'd probably put the Bucks at 10, but the Rams would be around 11 or 12 for me. So
yeah. I mean, because the two teams that I had out were one was the Bucs, so I don't think that's crazy at all. For the number 8 spot, I've got the Seattle Seahawks. They're on a 3-game winning streak after that really embarrassing loss week 1 against the Rams. Geno Smith has continued to prove himself and how last year was not just a fluke. Their defense is a little concerning, though, because I feel like they get too many shootouts and too many bad teams are putting up over 25 points against them. But they are coming off a good game defensively against the Giants. So I like Pete Carroll as a coach. And I think Geno Smith with the weapons, Lockett, DK, the rookie Smith and Jigba, and their running back Walker. I think they have a good offense, but the defense is a little concerning. But I have them at number 8.
I wouldn't give them any credit for against the Giants last week. I wouldn't say that was. Obviously it was a defensive win for them, but it's the Giants who are one of, if not the worst team in the NFL. So I wouldn't give them a whole lot of credit for that. But that offense is they're legit.
Yeah. For the number 7 spot, the Ravens. They were off my top 10 last week. And I don't think it was kind of deserved, coming off a pretty bad loss against the Colts. But they jump up to number 7 for me today for this week. Their offense is really starting to come around. Lamar, he's taking both aspects of his game, the throwing and the running, and he's really starting to come out of that. He had 2 passing and 2 rushing touchdowns last week. He's not rushing a whole lot of yards, but when he is, he's very effective when he runs. So, and I think that's really the key to success for them. Their defense is solid as well, only giving up 14.5 points per game. So I really like how Lamar's starting to mold into his true form, and I think he's starting to reach his peak. And honestly, I think he's starting to jump into that MVP conversation a little bit now as well. So they're my number 7.
Yeah, and this Ravens team is having big wins on the road, big divisional wins on the road, which is a big thing for me. Of course, they had that loss against the Colts, but it was only by 3 points, and that Colts team is not bad.
No, so, not at all.
This Ravens team is pretty good.
Yeah, for the number 6 spot, I've got the Philadelphia Eagles. The thing with them is they're winning. They're winning ugly, but they are winning. They have so much talent. We know what Hurts does, both running and throwing. They got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, Swift. Swift is coming a great back. And we know their offensive line brings with Kelsey and Lane Johnson. So I'm not too worried about them offensively, but the defense is a concern. They're allowing 22 points a game, and they gave up 31 to the Commanders. So I feel like I can't bring them up more than 6, but I feel like they do deserve to be that high just because they're undefeated and they're balling. Honestly, they're winning ugly, but they are winning, so they have to be up there.
They're also only 14 combined points from being 1-3 instead of 4-0. So that's kind of concerning, especially when you play teams like the Patriots and the Commanders. Don't get me wrong; those teams aren't horrible. You're not playing the Bears, the Giants, but those teams aren't. You're also not playing the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Bills, teams like that. So they're winning close games, which is a big thing in the NFL because a lot of games are close. But I would like to see them beat up on some lesser teams a little bit more than they are. And allowing 31 points to the Commanders is worrisome for them. But
Yeah.
the Eagles 4-0. I believe in Jalen Hurts a lot. I believe in that offensive line a lot. Just need to see a little bit more from that defense, especially having those high-powered offenses with the Cowboys and the 49ers over there to compete with.
Dropping from 1 all the way down to 5, I have the Miami Dolphins. Um, their offense is still elite. I don't. I mean, they still put up 20 points, and their starters didn't play most of the fourth quarter, honestly. So I'm not worried about their offense at all, and I'm not worried about Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, none of them. The the defense got exposed. We knew that the defense wasn't great, but we didn't think they were this bad. I mean, their defense is a real problem, and the O line for the Dolphins is a little bit of a concern too. The Bills' defense is good. I do understand that, but if you watch the game, Tua really didn't have a lot of time to throw, and that's why those deep shots to Tyreek weren't there, and that's why they weren't able to take the top of the defense because he wasn't getting protected. And their defense, I mean, was just terrible, honestly. So, I think they still deserve to be in this top 5 just because I mean what they did the first 4 weeks and because that high powered offense and they didn't get blown out by the Bears or some terrible team. They got blown out by a very good Bills team. So they're number 5, but the defense is a concern for me.
I'm more concerned with the offense than this game because I wasn't high on their defense anyways. So for allowing the Bills to score 48, it's a little bit higher than I thought, but I thought the Bills would get into the 40s. I'm at the 30s. I thought this game would be more like a 39-33. So for their offense to only score 20, and the main reason for that for me isn't just because the offensive line was letting Tua get pressure too much. It's the turnovers. 3 turnovers on 4th down, 1 interception, and 1 fumble. That's 5 turnovers right there to the Bills 0. That's the difference in the game for me.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but that defense is terrible because I feel like that the offense will be able to. I mean, to me, that's kind of a fluke game for the offense. But one thing that does worry me for them long term is the fact that if they don't have home field advantage, I don't think there's any way they can go into a cold, crazy environment and get a win. I just don't believe that's how Tua is in their offense.
Yeah, I mean their defense is a problem, but to me we knew it's not like we knew that we thought the defense was going to come in there and hold Buffalo to 10 points. I mean, we knew that the defense wasn't good. I mean, they let the Broncos score 20 in a blowout. So I mean, I don't know. The fact they let Buffalo score at will and let Josh Allen throw for 300 yards, it doesn't surprise me as much, but they do need to get it together on the defensive side, but they got to be more consistent, not turn the ball over as much on offense too. That doesn't help at all.
The number 4 spot, I've got the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and that offense are rolling. The past 4 weeks, they're on a 4-game winning streak, and they're dominating teams. They're killing teams. The defense is really, really good. I think they proved that against the Dolphins. I mean, this defense is legit, and they're still without Von Miller and Micah Hyde. This Bills team, while they do tend to be really good in September, I mean, if you look at them, if Josh Allen and that offense can continue to do what they're doing with having these big explosive plays and these long drives without turning the ball over, I think they'll be a team to watch out for the remainder of the season and going into the playoffs.
I think this team is a team to watch out for as of now. I like Josh Allen a lot. I think when he plays well, the team plays well. 21 of 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that defense holding one of the most explosive, if not the most explosive offense in the league to 20 points. Really impressive. I don't know that I could put them over who I think we both are going to have 1 and 2 in the NFC, but I would definitely have them over who I think is going to be in year 3 if they're in the AFC.
Yeah, the 3 is the Chiefs, and to me, there's just no way you can put the Bills over the Chiefs. The Chiefs own the Bills, and they've owned them for the past 3 years. They've got to me, I mean, the far superior, better quarterback. They got the better coach. I think the Bills have a slightly better defense because the Chiefs' defense are very good as well. And I don't think it's really close. The Bills definitely have the better weapons, but for me, the Chiefs are number 3 because if you look at it, yeah, they had a close game against the Jets, but hey, the Bills lost to the Jets, and Josh Allen had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. So when Josh Allen plays these good defenses, he tends to try to be a superhero and be turnover prone. But like I said, the Chiefs are only allowing 15 points a game defensively, and they're starting to be more balanced. When they're not just saying, "Hey, Mahomes, drive back 30 times and throw for 400 yards," but Checo's coming off a career night, rushed for over 125 yards and a touchdown. So I think that this Chiefs team, primarily on the offensive ball, is starting to become more balanced. So I think that's a great sign, and that's why they're on my number 3.
For me, I mean, it's not too much of a difference because I would have Bills 3, Chiefs 4. But I don't think that you can say the Chiefs own the Bills as an argument. We're not looking at years past. We're looking at this year. And this year, I've seen the Chiefs lose a game, which the Bills haven't done yet, to the Lions. Don't get me wrong, the Lions aren't a bad
The
team,
Bills
but then
lost
they
to
win.
the Jets week 1.
But I don't really count
To
week
Zach
1
Wilson.
losses. But it's week 1 losses. And we've seen what they've changed from week 1 to week 4.
Okay, but the Chiefs were without Kelsey and Chris Jones. They're 2 and 3 players. So if we're going to not count the Chiefs loss or the Bills loss, then we cannot count the Chiefs loss either.
But then we continue to go. We got to continue to keep looking. I've seen the Chiefs beat the Jaguars by 1 score. I've seen the Chiefs struggle against the Jets. I mean, they pulled it out, but they struggled against the Jets this week when the Bills had struggled against the Jets in week 1. And to me, if you look at quarterback comparison, if you're trying to compare Patrick Mahomes last week to Josh Allen last week.
Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes playing a top 6 defense, and Josh Allen's playing a bottom 6 defense probably.
A top 5 team in the league is who he's playing.
Yes,
Josh Allen, it doesn't matter who he played when he goes 21 of 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, no turnovers in general.
Yeah, but how did Josh Allen look against the Jets and how did Mahomes look against the Jets?
Again, I thought we were excluding week 1. So if we're looking at these
teams, what I'm saying is, though, we can't take Josh Allen against below average Dolphins defense and then try to compare him to Mahomes against the top 6 defense. I'm just
saying you act like we're comparing Mahomes to Justin Fields right now.
No. Okay. But we all want to say that Patrick Mahomes is a lot better than Josh Allen.
Normally a little better.
Okay. What I'm saying is, I mean, to me, it's not very close just because Josh Allen is way too turnover prone. And that's what scares me with this Bills team. Because I think on the Bills' best day, shoot, they can compete with anybody besides for the top 2 teams, I think. Who I think we want to agree on that.
I can agree with that. I can also agree that that Josh Allen is turnover prone, and I would call him inconsistent. But when Josh Allen is at his best, if you take Josh Allen at his best and Patrick Mahomes at his best, it's not a significant difference.
No, it's not. Which to me, that's what makes Mahomes so great is that he can be at his best. Well, and that's what makes Brady and all these great quarterbacks so great is that they're able to stake these games. And I think if Josh Allen can get to that level, which he's been doing the past 3 games, he'll be very scary. For the number 2 spot, and I think go ahead. You were about to say something?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. For the number 2 spot, and I think the gap between 2 and 3 is much bigger than the rest of the gaps. I have the Dallas Cowboys. And I think, as we all know, this is the biggest game yet for the NFL season. Last week it was Bills and Dolphins, but this week, Cowboys Niners. But the Cowboys, they have an elite top 3 defense. I think they're number 1, but I mean, no question, top 3. They're allowing 10 points per game, and if you subtract the Cardinals game, they're only allowing 4 points a game. So I mean, that's just insane. They're coming off a disgusting victory against the Patriots, giving Bill Belichick his largest loss in his coaching career, winning 38-3. The biggest thing for me is Dak isn't making mistakes. Last year, he was trying to force things, but I think this year he's allowing his defense in the game plan and really set him up. When this team gets ahead, it's tough sledding trying to get back in this game because the defense can pin their ears back and get up to the quarterback, and that's really why this defense is so good because they get this lead. Dak game manages and makes the plays that he needs to, and the defense, gets turnovers, creates 3 and out, and just really allows this team to keep building leads. So they're on my number 2, and I think it's deserved.
Yeah, I would also have the Cowboys at a 2, but I don't know that it's really a 2 for me. It's more of like a 1A, 1B. This Cowboys team is really good. The only reason I would put them at 1B is the inconsistency. This Cowboys team they've never handled prosperity well. They blew out 2 teams 40-0, 30-10, and then go and lose and drop an egg to the Cardinals. And then they come out having that adversity the week before and blow out the Patriots. It worries me. In the playoffs, can the Cowboys string together 4 good games? I don't know. I hope they can string together 2 good games because if you take a Cowboys team at their best their offense can play, best their defense can play, and you compare that to the same thing on the 49ers side, the Cowboys are going to blow them out.
Yeah.
I don't believe that defense or that offense is going to be able to be as efficient as they've been against the Cowboys. The only thing that worries me is they have the best running back in the league with Christian McCaffrey, and the Cowboys have been struggling against the run. Against the Cardinals, allowing over 200 rushing yards, we can't have that against the 49ers. The 49ers are going to run all over us. So don't get me wrong. I like the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are the most talented team. But as far as completeness and consistency, I have the 49ers over them. But I think this week's going to tell. I mean, it's to me, unless one team beats one team 40-10, 35-7 this week, it's still going to be a 1-2. It's just going to change from 1A, 1B to 1-2.
Yeah, which I mean I agree with that too because I mean the Cowboys have only had one game that was up in the air or close, and in that game, I mean we couldn't pull through on the offensive side of the ball and defense. So the really only concern I have is how did the Cowboys play close games or even games where they're down? How does that change how Dak plays and how that changes how defense plays? Because I mean we know that on their best day they're 40-0 better, they're 30-10 better, and they're 30-3 better than these teams, but when they get down or when they take a shot, like you said, prosperity, how do they handle a success and being down? So I think a lot of questions will be answered in this game. I don't think it's about who wins or loses. I think it's about how they win or lose, like you said.
I think to me, we're going to see a lot from the 49ers have to play a good team. And the Cowboys, we've got to see, can they compete against good teams? They haven't played a good team up to this point. They've played a mediocre Jets team who, I mean, it's not like Zach Wilson was playing like he did last week versus them. They played a mediocre Patriots team that did compete and only lose by 5 to the Eagles. So, I mean, that's a plus to show that team could compete with the Eagles, and the Cowboys went and blow them out. But to me, can the Cowboys start to see consistency? Can Dak Prescott play from behind? Because they're not going to run up a lead on this 49ers team. They're not going to be out 21 points ahead and let Dak deal. Can Dak play from behind? And we're going to figure it out this week.
We will. For the number one spot, like we said, we got the San Francisco 49ers. I think they deserve to be here. They're beating these teams they should. They didn't have that slip of game like the Cowboys did. And they also do have the Cowboys number. I mean, let's just face it. The Niners have the Cowboys number. So that's why I do think that this game coming up is such a big game. But they've got the elite weapons, CMC, Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle. Speaking about CMC, I mean, that man has put up historical record-breaking numbers. He has a chance to have the longest consecutive streak with a touchdown this next week against the Cowboys. So we'll see if he breaks that record. Brock Purdy does not make mistakes either. That's also why I think that they've been better than the Cowboys because they have that game manager type quarterback who's a solid quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he just gets the balls to the playmakers. He doesn't make mistakes, and he allows the playmakers to make plays for him and their defense, who's only allowing 12 points a game. So I think right now the Niners deserve to be slightly ahead of the Cowboys, but I think we'll see this week.
Yeah, to me, this 49ers team hasn't played a whole lot of competition. They played the Rams and blew them out. But for me, we're really going to get to see a lot from Brock Purdy this week because he hasn't played a defense like this Cowboys. Even the Cowboys defense last year, he hasn't played. No. He hasn't thrown an interception this year. If the Cowboys can come out and get after Brock Purdy and get him to turn the ball over in the first quarter, I don't know if this game will be close. I could see the Cowboys running up a lead in the second quarter if they can get out after Brock Purdy early. They need to hit him. They need to get him on the ground, and they need to hit the ball out of his hands quickly, make him throw into those good DBs, those skillful DBs, and let's get the ball back to our offense with momentum and see if we can't get Brock Purdy flustered and get him into a situation where he's not used to with throwing picks and having that getting down on himself. I mean, he's a good regular season quarterback. He's a great game manager. He didn't come through fully in the playoffs last year. Obviously, we saw that against the Eagles, but I trust in Brock Purdy to hold the ball and keep it with his offense, get to his playmakers, Debo, Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey. But if that Cowboys defense is a turnover machine, and if they can continue that trend against Brock Purdy, this game might get out of hand.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Brock Purdy too. Mystery irrelevant 7th-round pick. I think he would look like that in this game. You have to make Brock Purdy beat you. Not with the dink and dunks, but with the big throws. And I don't think Brock Purdy can do that. I think this game he would turn back into a pumpkin, and I think he would have, for sure, one interception, but maybe a couple of turnovers. So I think Purdy would get flustered early and often, and I think he will look like a shell of himself. Honestly, I do. I think even if he does, it'll be a close game, but I don't see him really making those big time throws and big time plays to beat the Cowboys.
I don't know that this score is. I don't know. I genuinely don't know who's going to win this game because I can't predict how the Cowboys are going to come out. But I don't know who's going to win this game. But as far as the score, I think it's going to be 14 points one way or the other. Either the Cowboys are going to get after Brock Purdy, make him turn the ball over, and Dak's going to deal, and the defense is going to continue to pester Brock Purdy the whole game. Dak's going to have no weight on his shoulders to feel like he has to do something, and they're going to roll over him like they've been rolling over teams. Or they're going to have a Cardinals game. Dak's going to feel like, oh, I'm behind. I've got to force something. Dak's going to turn the ball over. Brock Purdy's going to continue to game manage. He's not going to have that weight on his shoulders. And then they're going to continue to run up the score in the second half, just like the Cardinals did. So it's just, to me, it's going to be which team can jump out to an early lead, which can put pressure on the quarterbacks, which I don't believe either can do well under pressure. So it's who can put the pressure on the quarterback first.
Yeah, and for me, I know, this may come back to bite me, but I think Dak will really prove himself, not just with this game, but throughout the season, that he's taken that jump to be, a bona fide top 10 quarterback. So I do have a lot of trust in Dak. And you said you see about 14 either way. I see about 10. My score prediction is Cowboys 30-10.
30-10?
Yeah.
You think the Cowboys are going to win by 20?
No. Oh, my bad. 30-20. I'm sorry. 30-20, not 10. 30-20. My bad.
I just don't know if we let the 49ers put up 20 points. I just don't know that that's going to keep the pressure off Dak, because that would mean that the Cowboys are probably going to have to score only being up 3 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I think
go ahead.
To me, if the Cowboys are going to win, it's going to have to be like a 31-14. Yeah. And if the 49ers are going to win, it's going to be a 10-point. It's going to be probably 10 or 14 points. It's probably going to be, if the 49ers win, it's probably going to be more of like a 30-17, 30-20, something like that.
Yeah, and to me, I see there's no way, for me personally, that the 49ers will blow out the Cowboys. Now, I do see a tunnel or aspect where the Cowboys can blow the 49ers, but for me, if the Niners were to win, I think it'd be like a 24-27 or like a 27, like I think max like 27-20. But I can see the Cowboys blowing out the 49ers because I have a trust in Dak Prescott, and I really do think that he'll prove a lot of doubters wrong, not just with this game particularly, but the whole season.
I just don't know that Dak Prescott can perform well enough to keep it close. I feel like if Dak and the Cowboys haven't built up a lead by mid-third quarter, early fourth quarter, Dak's going to make a mistake and is just going to put the game away early. I don't know that there's any way that the Cowboys can blow out the 49ers just with how talented they are. And, we're talking a lot about Brock Purdy and Debo and Kittle and CMC, but that defense is good too, and that defense is going to put pressure on Dak. It's just how, to me, this game is going to be more on. I think, to me, with the Cowboys in general, though, it's more on the defense. How is the defense going to start off? Can the defense pressure the quarterback? Can the defense get turnovers in the first half? Can the defense give Dak Prescott momentum and short fields and keep the pressure off Dak and keep it on themselves? That's going to be the thing for me, and it's just going to be, I don't know. It's looking at trends so far. We're not seeing the 49ers turn the ball over and things like that. So we're just going to have to see a change in the trend with the Cowboys.
Yeah. And for me, Brock Purdy's numbers look incredible, amazing. But if you were to really watch the game, and I'll be honest, the only game I really watched was the Giants game. Yeah, he's good, but the Giants are terrible. But also, in that game, he made a couple of throws that were like, oh, those were not good throws. And I felt like the Cowboys, will pressure him and put him in very, very uncomfortable positions. And, they'll force him to make these bad throws. And I feel like that'll give Dak, that cushion and that confidence to be like, all right, my defense is going to play. If I can get to, 25 points or 23 points, I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll say this now. If the 49ers turn the ball over in the first quarter, the Cowboys will beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And which I do think I'm honest, I don't believe – I'm not a Brock Purdy believer at all whatsoever. I do not believe in him. And